Stamp Duty 101. The fundamentals of stamp duty, all the things, all the basic, essential, and the most fundamental things that you should know about stamp duty. Now, let me just do a quick check with all 700 over of you, just to see whether you can hear me, see me clearly. Now, put it this way. If you can hear me, if you can see me clearly, can you just type good afternoon in the chat box? Come on, just type good afternoon in the chat box. This is to tell me that you can hear me, you can see me, and most importantly, you can see this light beside me over here. Just type good afternoon in the chat box, right? Because you are responding to me, right? When you type good afternoon, that means you are responding to what I was saying. All right. Can I just scroll down the chat box a bit? Can I just scroll down? Wow. A lot of you are saying good afternoon already. Good one. That means all of you have got no problem, no issue listening and seeing me. Okay. Now, if you have got any issue here, let's say you can't hear me clearly, you can't see me clearly, just feel free to reach out to our host. And get them to help you. All right. Now, I also understand out of 700 overview right now today, okay, a lot of you are probably not attending this for the first time. I know some of you may have attended to some of my other previous sharing sessions. Well, it may not be about stamp duty, it may be about SST, it may be about e-invoicing. But let me just do a quick check. Out of 700 overview, how many of you here have attended to my previous session, my previous webinar, my previous sharing sessions? Yeah. If you have attended to my other sharing session before, can you just type 888 in the chat box? Type 888, type 888 in the chat box if you have attended to my other sharing sessions before. It may not be about stamp duty, it may be about any other topics. Yeah? Okay, then can I scroll down the chat box and let me just take a look. Wow, a lot of you have attended. All right, a lot of you are not first timers. You have seen me before, yeah. You have attended to my other sharing sessions, yeah. Good, great to see you again. Now, if this is your first time seeing me, I know some of you may say, no, this is my first time seeing you. This is my first time joining your sharing session. Wow, some even listened to me on radio station on 988 last week. Okay, that session I was speaking Cantonese but today we are not doing Cantonese, okay? Dong Yen Jing, today we are doing English session, all right? So today no Cantonese, Okay, so now back to what I was saying. Some of you are probably coming here for the very first time, seeing me for the very first time. So now, if this is your first time seeing me, can you just type 111 in the chat box? 111. I want to see how many first timers are there today. Wow, a lot of first timers. Today we have a lot of first timers that are joining this for the very first time. Wow, I have Rahman Arif, Nurul Aziz, Rahiman Arif, Randy Boy, Siti Hamza. Wow, okay. Now, if you're a first timer, if this is your first time seeing me, then you probably do not know who I am, right? Okay, let me just do a very quick introduction about myself. My name is Zen Chow. I'm the tax director. I'm the executive director of YYC, as well as the country tax leader of YYC Group. Now, having said that, if I say I'm a tax director, I'm a country tax leader for YYC Group, you probably would say, then you must be in this industry for quite some time, right? Okay, let me be very honest with all of you, yeah? I have been in the tax industry for more than 20 years right now. Yes, more than 20 years. This is my 21st year in the tax industry. So having said that, I just indirectly revealed my age, right? So you roughly can do the calculation lah. 20 years in the tax industry, you roughly know how old I am, right? Okay, but now I always say, age is just a number, yeah, it doesn't really matter, right? So of course, after doing tax for more than 20 years right now, I'm also a licensed tax agent. Yes, I have the tax agent license given by the Ministry of Finance. So you always heard people say, oh, licensed tax agent. Well, that's me lah, okay? Now some people say, why you look so young one? You look like early 30. Okay, I take that as a compliment. I take that you are actually giving me compliment, but I'm really not that young. Oh my God, some Mohan even said I look like after college. I take that as a compliment as well. Okay, anyway, like I said, I have been doing tax for more than 20 years right now. And I didn't start my tax career when I was in high school. I finished my university program, I finished my degree program before I started doing tax. Okay, so now that's just about me. But I know today you are not here to know who I am. You are here today to learn about this thing called stamp duty, right? Now, like I said, I know a lot of you would tell me, I really do not know how this stamp duty works, Many people are talking about stamp duty right now, saying that, oh, this one you need to do stamping, that one you need to pay stamp duty. But You really have no idea, right? I believe you agree to that, right? Let me just ask, anyone here, you can be very honest, tells me that I really do not know what should I do for stamp duty. I heard people talking about stamp duty, but I really do not know what should I do to handle all my documents when it comes to stamp duty. If you are one of them, can you type 0 in the chat box? Just type 0. If you say you really have no idea what should I do next for my business, for my company, in terms of stamp duty, type a 0. It's okay. Be very honest with me. Type a 0. Wow, a lot of you are typing 0. Looks like you guys are all at the right place. Yes, let me tell you what, all of you are at the right place. Because today, I'm going to talk about the essential stuff, the fundamentals of stamp duty, and all the things that you should know about stamp duty. Because today, I'm not just talking about what is stamp duty, I'm going to talk about the secrets about stamp duty. Now, I know a lot of you like to hear about people's secret, right? So today I want to tell you secrets about stamp duty. And what are the secrets? Secret number 1. Now, a lot of you would probably thought that, hey, this kind of agreement, I thought no need to stamp, right? No, actually, it does. You need to stamp. Certain agreements that you thought no need stamping, actually do, And secret number 2, a lot of you would then think, hey, what if I don't stamp a certain document? If it's unstamped, what would happen? Would it make that document invalid? Do I have to pay penalty? This is in secret number 2, which I'm going to tell you as well. But most importantly is secret number 3. Many people thought stamp duty is a very troublesome thing, very difficult to handle, but no, there's a very easy way, very affordable way to master stamp duty. And not just that, you will also master e-invoicing, SST as well. That is through YYC taxPOD. Now, some of you may have heard about this thing called YYC taxPOD. Some of you may have not. It's okay, because during secret number 3, I'm going to reveal what is this all about and how can you use this taxPOD to master your stamp duty. Okay? Now, before I begin, this is very important. This is very, very important. I know a lot of you, right, while listening to me, while attending to this webinar, you probably would say, hey, I'm listening, I'm watching. But at the same time, you have got a lot of WhatsApp messages. You'll be replying WhatsApp looking into your phone. I cannot see you, but I can feel you. I can feel it when, correct, right? You're doing it, right? Now, can you promise me 2 things today? 2 things today. I do not need you to promise me a lot of things. 2 things. First thing, before we start, can I have 100% of your focus today? Which means what? For the next 1.5 hours, or so, we will do this all the way until 4 to 4:30, about there, all right? So for the next 1.5 hours, can you put the phone aside? Don't reply WhatsApp messages. I know some of you may say, I'm replying email. Don't reply email, because I want you to give me 100% of your focus, because everything that I want to share with you are so important. I want you to focus. Can or not? Can you promise me first thing? Give me 100% of your focus or not? If you can you type 100% in the chat box? Just type 100%. Come on, let me see. Who can promise me? You will give me 100% of your focus. Type 100%. Why some says 50 only? Hui Hong only give me 50%. Where's another 50%? Okay, now, but most of you promise me, you give me 100% of your focus. Chai Pei give me 80% only. Aiyo, why? Where's another 20%? Okay, by the way, I need to also tell you one very important thing. Today, I'm actually sick, Seriously, I'm actually having flu right now. I'm also having cough right now. But I was telling my team, I say, hey, we have got so many people registered for this webinar. We cannot call this off. We cannot cancel this thing. I have to do it, no matter how I have to do it. So despite I'm having flu, I'm having cough, I'm still doing it. So, but I'll be probably drinking water from time to time. I'll probably have some slight cough from time to time. So bear with me, okay? Now, second thing I want you to promise me. Today, we're gonna stay all the way. We're gonna do this all the way until about 4 to 4:30. Latest by 4:30. Latest by 4:30. So can I have everyone to promise me one thing? Stay all the way until the end. Don't leave halfway. You know why? Because every single thing that I want to share with you will be so important that I don't want you to miss. So don't leave halfway. Stay all the way until 4:30. Can you promise me or not that you will stay all the way until 4:30? If you can you type 430? 430, 430. If you can stay all the way until 430, can you type 430 in the chat box? I want everyone to promise me these two things only, okay? Because I don't want you to leave halfway, okay? Now let me drink some water. Like I said, I'm still having some flu, some sore throat and cough over here. Okay, so everyone, you have promised me, right? Good. So now, let's begin our Stamp Duty 101, and I have to check with all 800 over of you, close to 900 right now. Are you all ready to start? If you're ready, can you type R-E-A-D-Y, ready, in the chat box? I want 800 over of you to type R-E-A-D-Y, ready, to tell me you are ready to learn about Stamp Duty 101. Come on, all 800 over of you. Can you type R-E-A-D-Y, ready? All right, everyone is ready. Good one, good one. All right, let's start off with the first secret that I want to share with you. That says the agreements you thought do not need stamping actually do. Yes. You know what? I know a lot of you will say, stamping. I've never stamped my documents, so you know. I've got so many agreements. I've never stamped them. Because why? Why would that happen? A lot of people would think this. You see, the common myth that's costing business money is this. Many businesses will say, hey, stamp duty, I thought that only applies when I buy and sell property. You know, when you do the transfer of property title, you do stamping, right? Or when you take a loan from the bank, you need to do stamping for the loan agreement, right? Or if the document is requested by lawyer, by bankers, then I need to do stamping. Most people thought stamping is only required when the lawyers need it, when the bankers need your document. No. The reality is, if you look into the Stamp Act 1949, Section 4 of the Stamp Act 1949, it says very clearly, all documents listed in the first schedule of the Stamp Act 1949 require stamping. Not just sale of property, not just loan agreement. So then you say, hey, then what are the things in the first schedule? I'm going to tell you later. Yeah? But now, when you say, hey, so if there's so many things that needs to be stamped, what exactly is stamp duty? Why do we need stamping? Right? You will ask this kind of question. So let me first tell you, what is stamp duty? Now, stamp duty is a form of tax. Okay? It's a form of direct tax. And it's imposed on instruments. Now, it doesn't use the word document or agreement, but actually instruments means what? It means written document. You see, Section 2 of the Stamp Act says very clearly, instruments includes written document. So that means in general terms, if you have got contracts, agreements, legally binding documents, you probably need to stamp, So then we drill down a little bit further. When I say written document, what do you mean by written? Okay? Now, written doesn't just mean, you must handwrite it, handwritten. No. Not just handwriting, not just handwritten. It can be typewritten. I know people nowadays don't use typewriter anymore, but let's say if you use typewriter to type up certain things, that's written as well. Nowadays we use printer. We use printer to print something, right? That's also considered written. Even soft copy. I know somebody will say, hey, today we use e-document, soft copy. Even electronic records, soft copy documents, as long as it is in readable form, it is considered written. Now, so in other words, a lot of documents, especially agreements, if it's written agreement, you need to stamp it. Of course, some people would then say, then what about verbal agreement? What if I have an agreement with a counterpart and I only do verbal agreement? Maybe I record using my camera, a video camera, I record it in a video. So this kind of agreement need to stamp or not? No need. You see, if you just record the voice, if you just record the video, it's not even written, no stamping required. But usually we don't do that, right? Usually we will have written agreement, right? So that's why once you have a written agreement, hey, probably you need to stamp. But now, what kind of stamp duty are we talking about? Now listen, this is very important. There are basically two types of stamp duty. Ad valorem duty and fixed duty. Now let's begin with the fixed one first. This one easier. What is fixed duty? Fixed duty is easy. Fixed duty means what? Regardless what is the consideration stated in the instrument, it's okay. The stamp duty is fixed at one amount. For example, let's say statutory declarations or even employment contract. Now, I'm going to talk more about employment contract later. Yeah? Let's say you have got an employment contract with your staff. Okay. Now, regardless what is the salary of your staff, whether this staff is earning 3,000 ringgit a month, 5,000 ringgit a month, or even 10,000 ringgit a month, you know what? This duty is fixed, 10 ringgit. 10 ringgit fixed duty, yeah? All right? Now, that is called fixed duty. Now, but the problem is, ad valorem duty is not fixed. Now, the second type of stamp duty is ad valorem. And that means what? The duty, the stamp duty changes according to the consideration, to the value of your instrument. For example, if you buy a house, now some of you that have done the memorandum of transfer, the instrument of transfer when you transfer title of a house, the higher the price is, the higher the duty will be, right? If you take a loan, the higher the loan amount, the higher the stamp duty is, right? That's called ad valorem duty. So you have to understand there are two types of stamp duties over here. Now, so here comes some of the examples that you thought, hey, maybe I do need to stamp, right? But here comes what kind of documents that generally, you have been using it and actually they require stamping. For example, I've got contracts. Contract with subcontractor, with freelancer, with independent contractor. I've got letter of offer. Just now I was talking about employment contract, right? Even letter of offer, employment, addendum, e-source, letter of undertaking, or even some business partnership agreement. You see, you have got general partnership, project partnership, or even joint venture, okay? And you may have some other type of agreements like MOU, non-disclosure agreement. Some people are asking, like YM is asking, NDA, right? Non-disclosure agreement, licensing agreement. All these kind of documents are subject to stamp duty. So you see, some of you may think, hey, some of the agreements are not subject to stamp duty, some of the documents are not subject to stamp duty. No, actually a lot of documents are subject to stamp duty. So now, why do I say a lot of things are subject to stamp duty? Listen, just now I did mention, I said, what kind of instruments need to be stamped? It is all spelled out in the first schedule of Stamp Act 1949. Okay, I know you all don't download a copy of Stamp Duty Stamp Act 1949 You probably don't have it with you. But if you really do have a copy of this Stamp Act 1949, you look into the first schedule, right? The first schedule of Stamp Act. Yeah, there are 8. Sorry, like I said, I'm having cough, I'm having flu. Okay, but don't worry, I'll continue. Now, there are 84 items in total in the first schedule that says you need to stamp this kind of documents. Wow, 84. Now, but quite a number of them are deleted, repealed, but still 57 are still effective. Yes, that means there are still 57 types of documents that require you to stamp, unless it's exempted unless it's specifically stated in the first schedule. They say, oh, exempted, otherwise you need to stamp. So now, here's the problem. In this schedule, 57 still effective, like I was saying, right? 57 still effective. Okay, can I control the slide a bit? Yeah, just let me control the slide a bit. Now, I was saying, right, 57 are still effective. Okay, now, do I go through all 57 for you today? Confirm cannot lah. Today, we only have time until about 4 to 4:30. If I'm going to go through all 57, you know what? Even night time also I cannot finish already. But today, I want to tell you some very popular items. Some items that you have been always using. For example, item 4. Item 4 is a very, very important item because this is like a catch-all provision. Now, why do I say this is a catch-all provision? Because item 4 says what? Agreement or memorandum of agreement. Basically, if you have a written agreement, like I was telling you, there's an offer, there's an acceptance. I offer you something, you accept, you sign back, you give it back to me, and you have accepted, that will become an agreement. Unless it's verbal, like I said, verbal agreement, no need to stamp. But if it's written agreement, it may fall under item 4. This is like a catch-all provision. So you see, in this first schedule, if you see your item, yeah, your agreement doesn't specifically mention in any other items, yeah, because there are a lot of different type of agreements, not just general agreements. If your type of agreement is not specifically mentioned in any other item, most probably it will fall under item 4. And item 4 would say your stamp duty is 10 ringgit. So this is the most common one. This is the most common one. So now, can we scroll down the chat box a bit? Can we scroll down? Now, I know a lot of you have got questions now, starting asking, hey, then whether this one have to stamp or not? That one have to stamp or not? You know, some people may say, what about MOU? You know, what about NDA? You know, all these will fall under item 4. Okay? Now, I know some of you may say, hey, there are exemptions, right? Okay. Yes. Not every item, some items would have some exemptions, yeah, in that item. But today, I really cannot go so in-depth, I was very honest, I cannot go so in-depth and tell you each of the exemption, because today I want to give you the most fundamental thing first. But I know today, some of you would want to learn more about stamp duty. You want to go very, very in-depth to look into the stamp duty items, exemption and everything. You know what? You stay until the end. All of you who want to learn really a lot about stamp duty, you stay until the end. I've got something very special that I want to give you. Yes, I've got something very special that I want to give you, and that would allow you to learn a lot more about stamp duty. Yes, and I know someone just now was also asking, hey, can we have the slides for today? Can we have the slides for today? Now, let me be very honest with everyone first. Today is a free sharing session, so we are not providing slides. But I know you guys like all the slides. I know you all love the slides, right? You stay until the end. You stay all the way until the end. We have got something very special that we want to give you that allows you to get a lot of information, a lot of slides about stamp duty. But how to get that? You stay until the end. I'll tell you. Okay? You stay until the end. So now let me continue first. So item 4 is like, hey, it's a catch-all provision, right? But now, not everything will fall under item 4. Because some people will say, hey, like freelance agreement, does it fall under item 4 or not? Now you see, if your agreement is a service agreement, then it falls under another item. Because service agreement falls under item 22. So here I want to talk a little bit about item 22. Because item 22 is a service agreement that talks about contract for service. But item 22 also has 22.1a, 22.1b, you know. Now, what's the difference? Now, if your service agreement is it gives a definite and certain period. Definite, certain period. The stamp duty is supposed to be 5 ringgit for every 1,000, which means 0.5%. 0.5%. But there is a remission order. Now, there's a remission order that brings it down to 0.1% only. Okay? But if your service agreement is for the term of life, indefinite period, then it's under item 22.1b. 22.1b would mean it's 1 ringgit for every 100. That means 1%, you know. The stamp duty becomes 1%. And of course, if this service agreement is a loan, it's an unsecured loan agreement, then there will be a 0.1 remission of the stamp duty amount, under the stamp duty remission order C. Now, so since we talked about loan, let's talk about loan then. Now, loan is another type of agreement that also attracts stamp duty, but loan agreements, you see, if this is a general secured loan agreement, it's 5 ringgit for every 1,000, 0.5%. But if it's an unsecured loan repayable on demand or in a single bullet repayment, then it's 0.1% of the stamp duty amount only. Yeah, because there's a remission order. But what if this loan is a hire purchase loan? Now, hire purchase loan is a little bit different then. It's 10 ringgit flat rate. So you see, even loan itself can be different, you know. Now, what else? Hey, what about agreement for sale of any property? Now, this is also something very common that you have seen. People who have purchased property, when you transfer the title, when you do the instrument of transfer, when you transfer title, that is when you pay stamp duty, right? You see, when you transfer a property, it depends on the value of the property. Because the stamp duty for transfer of title of a property is like this, you know. First 100,000, it's 1 ringgit per 100. It means 1%, so maximum 1,000. But after that, the next 400,000 value is at 2% already, you know. Then the next 500,000 value is at 3%. Now, this make up 1 million already, right? 100,000, 400,000, and 500,000. 1 million. Anything in excess of 1 million, it becomes 4%. So this is the stamp duty rate for transfer of title of a property. Now what else? Now, this is also very, very common. rental of property. Because I know a lot of you are probably renting out your property, or maybe you are renting a property, you are the tenant, right? So, do you know when you have a tenancy agreement? Now, a tenancy agreement is a written agreement, isn't it? So, when you have a tenancy agreement for immovable property, and the stamp duty would depends on the rental, the annual rental, right? And it's 1 ringgit, 3 ringgit, 5 or even 7 ringgit for every 250 ringgit. Huh? Why so many different types of rate one? Now, it's like this. It all depends on your tenancy period. How long is this tenancy agreement for? What's the period? Because you have to take that 1 year rental, divide by 250, then after dividing by 250, you look at what is the period for your tenancy agreement. If it's not exceeding 1 year, that means maximum 1 year lah. It's just 1 ringgit per 250. But if it's more than 1 year, up to 3 years, it's 3 ringgit per 250. If it's more than 3 years, not more than 5 years, it's 5 ringgit. And if it's more than 5 years, or no fixed term, unlimited years, it's 7 ringgit per every 250. That is how you calculate the stamp duty for rental. And what about non-listed shares, stock, or marketable securities? Now, some of you may say, hey, I'm buying shares, I'm selling shares of an unlisted company, shares of unlisted company. Now, that is 3 ringgit for every 1,000. In other words, 0.3%. 0.3% of the value. But how do I determine the value? Now, we always look at the consideration of all the value, whichever is greater. So when we talk about value, it means the net tangible asset of the company, or consideration. That means what's the purchase price, what's the selling price, whichever is higher, okay? Now, you see, these are the common things, that you will always see, hey, so there's so many types of documents or agreements, right, that require stamping. And all this kind of stamping can be different rates, so you know, some fixed rate, some ad valorem, and even ad valorem is not like a fixed percentage, you know, it can be like for every 250 ringgit, some you need to look at what's the period, right? Now, it can be complicated, isn't it? Now, before I go into all the complicated stuff, before I go into all that, the most important thing that you need to know is this one. When should I do the stamping? When should I do the stamping? This is very, very important. Because now, just now we mentioned, even a simple agreement, a general simple agreement, right? I will need to bring it for stamping. But what's the deadline? If I sign an agreement today, when do I have to bring this agreement for stamping? Now, this is very important because if you miss out this one, you pay penalty. Yes, you pay penalty if you miss out this one. So this is very, very important. So look at this. Whenever we execute an agreement in Malaysia, execute means what? Sign, okay? Signed by all parties. That means all parties have signed, finalized. Yeah, the agreement has been finalized. Once it has been executed in Malaysia, you gotta bring it for stamping within 30 days. 30 days. Now, let's say, look at this example. Now, recipient Sandra Berhad. Oh, I've signed an agreement on the 1st of May 2025. Now, once you have finalized it on the 1st of May 2025, 30 days will start. That means for the next 30 days, you got to bring it for stamping. So the last day, the deadline to stamp this document will be on or before 31st of May 2025 because you have got the next 30 days to do so. But what if my agreement is executed outside Malaysia? Because you may say, hey, agreement is not signed in Malaysia, you know. Agreement is signed outside Malaysia, you know. Well, if it's signed outside Malaysia, you don't have to bring it for stamping until you bring it back into Malaysia. Until this agreement or this instrument is received in Malaysia. What do I mean by received in Malaysia? It can be emailed back to Malaysia. It can be posted back to Malaysia. It can be even brought back by hand to Malaysia. So whatever ways it is, once it's received in Malaysia, whether email, posted, or even brought back by hand, okay? Once it's received in Malaysia, 30 days after that, 30 days from there, you will have to bring it for stamping. Unless you say the agreement stays overseas, never bring back to Malaysia. But once you bring it back to Malaysia, let's say this document is received in Malaysia on the 31st of May, you have to bring it for stamping by 30th of June 2025 because 30 days. So you see, once an agreement is signed in Malaysia or brought back into Malaysia, you only have 30 days. 30 days to do so. Okay, I like Kohila Devi is asking, hey, would you explain about staff letter of appointment stamping? Yes, that is one big topic that I want to go in depth and tell you more about employment contract, because I know today a lot of you are very concerned with employment contract. How do I handle the employment contract? Don't worry, I'll go in depth, Kohila Devi. Okay, so now you know that the deadline is here. Okay, I want to go into this topic that a lot of you are probably thinking, hey, I heard recently there is this thing called employment contract needs to be stamped, Yes. Now, let me ask a lot of you. You can be very honest. You can be very honest with me. Okay, don't worry. Today, I don't have Inland Revenue Officer here. Right? I don't have any Inland Revenue Officer here monitoring you. Don't worry. I want to do a quick survey. 900 over of you today. How many of you actually stamp your employment contract with all the staff? Now, those that have stamped all your employment contract with staff, put a Y means yes lah. Those that have not stamped your employment contract with the staff, can you put an N? No. It stands for no, N. You can be very honest. Don't worry, I'm not sending any IRB officer to your office and check you. Don't worry, Alright, if you have stamped your employment contract, put a Y. If you have not stamped your employment contract, put an N. No stands for no. I want to see how many Y's are there, how many N's are there. Okay, can we scroll down? Can we scroll down the chat box and let me take a look? Now, initially a lot of Y's, but now I see a lot of N's. Can you scroll up a bit? Scroll up a bit. Let me just take a quick look. Okay, a lot of Y's. Scroll up. Okay, a lot of Y's. Okay, but still a lot of N's as well. Very honest. You guys are being very honest. Okay, but most of you are saying Y already. But still, I think about 40%, 30-40% is saying no. Okay, go all the way down. Now. Thank you for being so honest, okay? Because some of, and I like this, Attenborough Penny, okay, Attenborough Penny. Penny is saying, why and no for those no longer in company. That means you have stamped those that are still with you, and you don't stamp those that are no longer with the company, right? And some say, no, because it's before 2025, Now, Julian is asking, hey, start before 2025, do I still need to stamp or not? Okay, let me go into this issue, employment contract, because this is one of the big issues, right, that have been making a lot of people having headache. How should I handle this? Let me first tell you, what is employment contract? Now, very simple. Employment contract is when you have a contract that creates employer and employee relationship. That means there's a master-servant relationship. Okay, I employ you, you are my staff, you got to listen to my instruction because there's a master-servant relationship. I ask you to do this, you have to do that because you are my employee, right? So that is employment contract. And in the first schedule of the Stamp Act, it says employment contract has to be stamped. It is as good as a general agreement. You need to stamp it and you got to pay 10 ringgit, item 4, right? 10 ringgit. Now, then, if the letter for employment needs to be stamped, what about trainee? If I have a letter for trainee, do I need to stamp or not? What about some addendum offer? Addendum offer letter. I've issued this stamp agreement, employment agreement, but I add on certain things after that. Now, listen carefully. I know some of you may not just have one employment contract or one document when it comes to employment. You may have multiple documents. You see, if I say I have offer letter, I have appointment letter, then only I have employment contract. When I employ one staff, I've got 3 sets of documents, Do I have to stamp everything? Right? Do I have to stamp everything or not? Now, this is what the Inland Revenue Board says. This is an official answer from the Inland Revenue Board. It says you will stamp only the latest document that sets out the comprehensive and final terms. So let's say if I have got offer letter issued, then I issue appointment letter, then I come up with an employment contract that covers everything that I've mentioned earlier in appointment letter and offer letter. I've covered everything in my employment contract. I only need to stamp employment contract, just one document. If I have offer letter, then appointment letter, then I just stamp the last one, appointment letter. But let's say if I have offer letter and that's the only document, I've got nothing else after that, this is equivalent to your employment contract. So your offer letter needs to be stamped. Now, then what about increment promotion? You see, like Tila Garani is asking, increment promotion how? Now you see, when you do increment, when you do promotion, is this an agreement? This is very important, you know. If this is an agreement, agreement means what? Agreement means the employer offers the staff something, the offer has to sign and accept. You see, when the employee has to sign and accept, and the terms will be different already, right? Because increment already, promotion already, different terms, that will be a new agreement that needs to be stamped. You see, there will be a new agreement. Unless you say it's a one-way notice. Now, see, if it's a one-way notice, I give you a notice to tell you this is your promotion, this is your increment. You don't have to accept. I just give you notice and tell you that you have been promoted. That is not an agreement. No need to stamp. You see that or not? So when it becomes an agreement with different terms, then you have to stamp it. Like bonus as well, Zura, right? You will say bonus. If I just give you a notice and tell you, this is your bonus for the year, I don't need you to accept anything. No agreement lah. But if you say, I give you bonus, you accept or not? You want to accept this bonus or not? And they just sign, right? Then, yep, that's an agreement. See that? That is how you look at it. So now, if there is really an agreement, an employment agreement, who has to pay? Now, this is a very, very important thing. Because when it comes to item 4, the general agreement, it says here, the person who first signs the instrument has to pay the stamp duty. Generally, who signs first? Employer. Of course, employer will sign first, right? You don't give an offer letter to your staff and say, hey, I'm offering you a job, but I won't sign first. You sign first. You sign, then only I will sign as the employer. You don't do that, right? So, employer is generally the person that signs first. So, yes, employer is the one that will pay the stamp duty. But it's just 10 ringgit. Now, I know some of you may ask me this question. Hey, IRB would definitely know. If I don't stamp, let's say I don't stamp my employment contract, how do they know that I have got an employee and I didn't stamp my employment contract? Hey, did you know you will actually submit Form CP22 every time you employ a new employee, you know. Every time when you have got a new staff, you have to submit CP22. IRB would know that you have got a new staff. If they go and cross-check, hey, where's the stamping for your employment contract and it is not there, definitely they know lah. They know that you have got an employment contract and you have not signed. See that or not? Okay, and you have not stamped, right? Now, I know some of you have mentioned that, hey, I thought there's an exemption. I thought if the salary is not more than 3,000 ringgit, there's an exemption. Yes, this is the latest news here. Now, all of you have to understand this. I know you may say, wow, then a lot of the documents, a lot of agreements need to be stamped and I have to pay the 10 ringgit for every agreement, you know. Now, there is an exemption for employment contract, okay? And in 2026, effective this year, 1st January 2026, the exemption threshold has been increased from 300 to 3,000. Means what? Means if the salary, including fixed allowance, I know some will say, hey, it's not salary, it's allowance. If it is a fixed allowance, right, you have to add it up with your salary because everything is fixed, right? So you take your fixed monthly remuneration. If it is not more than 3,000 for that employee, no stamp duty payable. No stamp duty payable. But now here comes the question from Charmaine. Charmaine says, hey, if it's not, below 3,000 is stamp duty exempted, do I have to still bring it for endorsement? Yes. You still need to submit for endorsement. That means that you still have to do the things just like how you do stamping lah. You have to submit for so-called stamping, but you don't have to pay stamp duty. It's just an endorsement to say that it is exempted. Okay, so remember, 1st January 2026 onwards, threshold is now 3,000. Not more than 3,000, you just submit for endorsement, right? For exemption, right? But if it's more than 3,000, you have to bring it for stamping and pay the 10 ringgit lah. Now, here comes, now you get the idea, right? Now you get the idea, oh, so now we have got this kind of agreements that need to be stamped, right? And even if it's exempted, I have to bring it for endorsement to get exemption, right? So here comes secret number 2, okay? Now that you have understood, okay, actually there's so many documents that I need to stamp. The second secret I want to tell you here is, many people now say that, what if I don't stamp? What if I don't stamp a certain document? Would it make it invalid and would there be any penalty? Okay, I want to focus more on this thing. Would there be any penalty if I don't stamp certain documents? This is what I want to highlight to all of you. This is very important. Recently only we heard many people discuss about this topic, stamp duty, right? Previously, hey, No one talked about stamp duty, isn't it? But stamp duty, the Stamp Act, it's not new, Stamp Act was in Malaysia since 1949. 1949, before I was even born, okay, I'm not that old yet, okay, I'm not that old yet. Before I was even born, Stamp Act was already here, okay? But why people don't talk about stamp duty until recently? It was because of this stamp duty audit framework. Now, this stamp duty audit framework was only issued 1st of January 2025. It was only the beginning of last year, 1st January 2025. This stamp duty audit framework was issued to explain to you that Inland Revenue Board can do audit for stamp duty. And what's the process, what's the responsibilities. And right after they have issued this framework on the 1st January 2025, they started doing audit. Yes, they started doing a lot of audits, Okay, now let me ask over here first. How many of you here, 900 over of you right now, have been audited by the Inland Revenue Board on stamp duty? If you have been audited by the Inland Revenue Board for stamp duty, can you type an A? A stands for audit. Just type an A. I want to see out of 900 over of you, how many of you have been audited, all right, by the Inland Revenue Board on stamp duty issues? Type an A. Type an A. Okay. Now I have a few. I have Clement, I have Alexandra, Nur Yahaya, Nur Fatiha, Aitio, Cheng Wong Yim. Okay. You see, I've got a few. And a lot of you may say, not a lot lah, not me ma. Not yet. Just not yet your turn. Don't say, hey, they're only auditing the other companies, not my company. It's just not yet. Because they have started auditing a lot of companies already. Okay? Now, and when they come, they will audit you up to 3 years. That means they don't just audit 1 year, they will audit 1, 2, or even 3 years. And usually we say they can audit up to 5 years backwards, 5-year limit. But when they found out that that's a case of fraud, willful default, negligence, then there is no limit. They can audit as many years they want, right? Even though the general rule says 5 years. And don't say, don't care lah, audit lah. You know what happened? If they have audited and they found out, hey, there's some stamp duty that you have not paid, they can issue stoppage order. Yes, the Inland Revenue Board can actually issue stoppage order, arrest you without warrant, stop you from leaving the country. Yes. Did you know not paying stamp duty can make you not able to leave the country and you can be arrested by the police? This is in section 74A of the Stamp Act. So don't say, hey, stamp duty, don't care lah, It can be pretty serious. So now, like I said, some of you have been audited before, and if you receive this kind of letter, pemberitahuan lawatan audit, you know the audit has come. And they will come, they will check all your agreements, all your documents to make sure that they are properly stamped under the Stamp Act. If you are not stamping it properly, there can be penalties, all right? And you can be arrested, you can be stopped from leaving the country as well. So now, let's look at this. What is the problem with stamping? You see, a lot of people actually, when they try to do stamping on their own, I know some of you probably have started. I know some of you have started doing the stamping on their own. You can go in, you started going into the system and you try to do some stamping of some documents, right? But the problem is, there are so many different types of instruments. Like I told you, right? 80 over items, right? And still 57 is still effective, So out of the 57 items, wow, which one should I select? Because if you select the wrong instrument, you know what happened? Misclassification, underpayment, and that could cause penalties or audit issues later. So that is the biggest problem. You probably do not know what category does this fall under. You cannot say everything also I put under general agreement lah. Everything also I pay 10 ringgit only lah. That can be underpayment, right? You cannot simply do that. So you see, that is the issue. And the worst part is, this year onwards, 1st January 2026, we have entered self-assessment system. What is self-assessment system? Some of you may ask me, what is this self-assessment? I always heard people talk about self-assessment. Now, let me just give you one comparison, right, for you to understand easier. A lot of you, I would say most of you or all of you are taxpayers, right? you have been paying your tax, you've been filing your income tax every year, right? We have been doing self-assessment for 21 years right now. Yeah, or close to 22 years, because self-assessment started for year of assessment 2004 for individual. So we have been doing 20 over years of self-assessment when it comes to income tax. So self-assessment means what? You go to the system, you fill up the form, you submit the form, and you pay after that. That means you have to self-declare, you self-calculate, then you pay, and you're self-accountable. That means no one will tell you, that means the Inland Revenue Board will not tell you, okay, this is the assessment that I will give you, you pay according to my assessment notice lah. No. You do it on your own, you calculate on your own, you pay on your own. Self-accountable. That is self-assessment. And we have entered into self-assessment system since 1st January 2026. And that means when you have general agreement, when you have rental agreement, or even you have got some securities like promissory note, IOU note, that kind of things, you have to do stamp duty. You have to calculate on your own. And next year, we will go into phase 2 where even instrument of transfer of property, you have to do self-assessment as well. Then 2028 is the last phase where it will be 100% self-assessment. All kind of instruments, all kind of agreements, you have to do self-assessment. Now, Azizi asked a good question, Azizi. What if we do wrong when we do self-assessment? Good question. Penalty may come. Penalty may come. So now, that's why I want to tell you, you have to be very clear. Hey, what kind of instrument is this and how can I handle it well? I'm going to tell you more how to do that. Now, when I talk about self-assessment, we are using this system, right? The My Tax Portal. Now, some of you, I would say most of you that have been filing your income tax return every year. If you go into your My Tax Portal is the portal where you do your income tax return form, right? You log into My Tax, you go under this Easy Hustle services, you will see, hey, there is this stamp duty, that's e-stamp duty. You see that already, yeah? Because we have moved into self-assessment stamp duty system effective 1st January 2026. You can start doing it there already, okay? Now, the good news, this is to also answer to Azizi's question. Hey, but we do not know anything about stamp duty. If I go in right now, I do something wrong, then how, yeah? The good news is, this is the good news, I'll tell you good news first, on the 21st of December, all right? End of December, yeah? The Inland Revenue Board announced this. They say, since this is the first year we entered into this self-assessment stamp duty system, no penalties. Wow, very happy, right? No penalties. The special concession period is from 1st January 2026, which is early this year, until 31st December 2026. Wow, which means that during this year, during 2026, even incorrect forms of or incorrect information, no penalties. That means incorrect submission of stamp duty form, incorrect, inaccurate, or incomplete information, no penalty. Okay, I know a lot of you are very happy right now. Okay lah, then I can just don't bother about it lah. No penalty, but I don't even have to stamp lah. I don't have to stamp my agreement anymore, right? Since no penalty, right? Listen carefully. This no penalty concession period is for incorrect forms or information during transition. What if you don't stamp at all? Now, if you don't even bother about stamping, you don't even care about stamping, right? This penalty will still kick in. Late stamping penalty will still kick in because late stamping penalty is not waived. Okay, so if you don't care about your documents, you don't care about your agreement, you don't stamp them at all, you know what's the penalty? Remember just now I was telling you, once you have got an agreement executed, 30 days is all you have to do stamping, right? If you don't do stamping within that 30 days, okay, once you reach 31st day after executing, late stamping penalty will be 50 ringgit or 10% of the stamp duty amount, whichever is higher. Don't say, oh, 10 ringgit stamp duty, 10% means 1 ringgit only ma. No, it's 50 ringgit or 10%, whichever is higher. Yeah, that means it's 50 ringgit. And that is only for the first 3 months after you are late, Only for the first 3 months, If you still don't care, after these 3 months, that means a late stamping of more than 3 months, yeah, it's 100 or 20%, whichever is higher. So don't say 10 ringgit stamp duty, that means 2 ringgit only. No, it's 100 ringgit per agreement, per contract. I show you a scenario. let's say in 2026, all right, let's say this year, you have got 30 employment contracts that you have finalized. None of them have been stamped within 30 days. None of them are not working days, Irene, not working days. 30 days means calendar days, including Saturday, Sunday, public holidays, all right? You don't stamp at all. You thought 30 only, right? Every agreement is 10 ringgit, right? That means my stamp duty is 300 only. If you pay on time, if you stamp on time, then yes, 300. But if you don't stamp all of them, every contract maximum penalty is 100. 100, right? That means the penalty itself is already 3,000, That means the total payable is 3,300. If you don't stamp at all, if you don't bother about stamp duty at all, you may have to pay a few thousand ringgit, in terms of penalties. So that is why I say, hey, you've got to really know about stamping. And not just that. Now, I know you may hear someone say, no penalty for the first year. But there are a lot of other penalties and offences of which the amounts have increased effective 1st January 2026. Now, what are they? I just name you a few. Like for this one, if there is a if you fail to register instrument of transfer of debenture of shares executed outside Malaysia, last time, before 2026, penalty maximum 250 only, Now the penalty is between 1,000 to 10,000. Or, if you say, if I have got a document not stamped, but I still execute and I still sign. You say, I still execute and I still sign the document, not stamped. Last time maximum penalty 1,500. Now it's 1,000 to 10,000 ringgit, because from 1st January onwards, all penalties have increased. So that is why I say 2026 is a very crucial year for you to understand about stamp duty. Because if you do something wrong, the penalty can be very, very heavy. Okay? Now, I know some of you may say this, don't worry lah, I've got auditor, I've got tax agent, my company has got tax agent, has got auditor, and right? They will tell me what to do. And let me ask you a very simple question. How often would your auditor see you? How often would your tax agent see you every year? Once a year? Twice a year? Right? That's usually, auditor only see you once a year or twice a year, right? Tax agent also the same, right? Once a year or maybe twice a year. But stamp duty is not a year-end thing, It's not like I accumulate everything and then year-end I go and do stamping of everything. No, you only have 30 days, right? Your auditor doesn't see your day-to-day agreements, They do not know what kind of agreements you have. If you stamp late, penalty hits immediately. And by the time IRB come and check, IRB says, this one you are supposed to stamp, on what day, but you fail to do it. It's already too late. Even if your auditor, your tax agent tells you, hey, this one you should stamp, but it's already late because they only see you, maybe after that one whole year. So that is why, now, I say, stamp duty, right, is a day-to-day thing. Every time you have got any agreements, any documents, it may fall under Schedule 1 and you may need to stamp it, within that 30 days period. And if you don't do that, you probably do not know that it's wrong. But once the authority comes, it's a big slap. It's a big slap. Now, why do I say that? This is a real news. This is a court case that gone all the way to before the federal court. This one is a federal court case. You look at this. This duty payer, they thought their agreement, their asset purchase agreement, would attract only stamp duty, 10 ringgit fixed duty, item 4, right? They thought so, But when the IRB checked, the IRB reclassified it. They said, no, this is not item 4. This is item 32A, conveyance on sale. It's ad valorem duty. From 10 ringgit stamp duty, it jumped all the way up to close to 400,000. Up to close to 400,000. Isn't this a big slap? You thought I only pay 10 ringgit, But when they come, I have to pay 400,000. That will largely affect your cash flow. You're probably not even ready to pay that. But they say, you have to pay 400,000. And this case has gone up to federal court. And yes, they have to pay 400,000, close to 400,000. That's why I say you cannot afford to make mistake. You see, stamp duty or stamping is time sensitive. Once you execute an agreement, you only have 30 days. The 30-day countdown begins. You stamp late, you pay penalty. You don't stamp, even worse, you risk fines, even prosecution. And the worst part is, this is always the worst part, most taxpayers, including a lot of you, you don't even realize that the documents need to be stamped in the first place. You do not even know that this one actually have to do stamping. Well, no one tells me that I need to do stamping. When they tells you that you have to do stamping, it's already too late. But don't wait. Don't wait for the audit notice. Now, what I've shared with you just now, you know what? All these issues, all these problems that I've shared with you, it's just a tip of an iceberg, okay? I know today we have got a lot of bosses, I know. A lot of bosses will say, you know what? Don't worry. I will know what I need to know. You know, my accountants will tell me what I need to know. You see, bosses, if you are a boss, I always say boss must have a big picture. Don't everything also say, let my accountants do lah. Stamp duty is now self-assessment. You must classify correctly. Don't rely on others. Because stamp duty mistake will hit your strategy, your profits, and your cash flow. Like that example that I told you. You thought you only pay 10 ringgit. Suddenly they say you have to pay 400,000. Isn't it affecting your cash flow? So bosses, I always say you need to know what you don't know. Not know what people will tell you. Know what you don't know. Don't just look at the tip of an iceberg. You need to invest time. Now, what do I mean by invest time? You see, actually the Inland Revenue Board is not putting you in the dark. Some of you may say, wow, so many things that I need to learn. How to learn all this? You see, Inland Revenue Board is coming up with all the guidelines. Yes, yeah, there are a lot of guidelines, but these guidelines are always being updated. Updated, in other words, means change. Guidelines are always being updated, means change. You see, like just recently, on the 6th of November, wow, all of a sudden, right, the Inland Revenue Board issued 4 guidelines, you see, 4 guidelines on stamp duty, yeah, on the same day, 6th of November, and you thought, okay lah, 4 guidelines, I just have to read all 4 lor. Then later, on the 26th of December, issued another guideline to tell you more. But the worst thing is, those guidelines that was issued earlier, yeah, they updated it on the 28th of December. That means they changed certain things in these guidelines. So the problem is, even if I've read the guideline may change in future. There are certain things in there that could have been changed, you know. Now, let me ask you, when all these guidelines are keep being issued, you know, from time to time and being updated from time to time, is this going to be a problem now? Okay, you can answer me honestly. Let me just ask you one by one. You can answer me honestly. Do you think this is a problem? All these guidelines are always being updated, always changed. How can I get the latest alerts lah? How do I get the latest changes? Is this a problem to you? If this is a problem, can you put a yes? Come on, put a yes in the chat box. If you say, wow, needing to find out what's the latest updated guideline, you know, what is the latest change, the latest alert, is going to be a big problem, right? If this is a problem to you, can you put a yes? Come on, I want everyone to be very honest with me. If this is going to be a problem, can you put a yes in the chat box? You see, so many of you are saying yes. Because things are always changing, right? 100% yes. Some people say 100% yes or more, right? Now, the good news is, today we have got social media, right? You will see people sharing this on Facebook, on Instagram, and some of you even receive forwarded messages from WhatsApp. I know, a lot of you are in a lot of groups, a lot of WhatsApp groups, right? Receiving all the forwarded messages. But let me ask you, you answer me honestly, when you receive all these kind of forwarded messages, would you be worried? Would you be worried that, is this the latest? Is this the most accurate information? Because things are always changing, you know. Now you receive this forwarded message, is this the latest already? Is this a problem? You tell me yes or no. Come on, you tell me yes or no. If this is a problem, next time you receive a forwarded message, you also do not know, you're doubtful whether this is the latest or not. Is this most accurate or not? If this is going to be a problem, can you put a yes as well? Put a yes as well. You see, so many of you are actually worried, right, about this as well, right? Now, I know some of you would then say this, don't worry, I will get a tax consultant to come in. I will get a tax consultant to come in to advise me to look into all my agreements, all my documents, what needs to be stamped, what need not to be stamped. I'll get a consultant to come in. Now, let me be very honest with you, everyone. Let me be very honest with you. I was telling you I have been in the tax industry for more than 20 years right now. I'm a licensed tax agent, right? Yes, indeed, I have helped some companies assessing, looking through all the agreements, all the documents, and tell them, do you need to stamp them or not? Yes, YYC does provide that kind of service. But let me be very honest, the fee is not low. It's not cheap. Now, did you know that we have got a few cases where we go in, we look through all the agreements, all the documents, right? We can easily charge 5-figure fees to maybe even 6-figure fees, you know. I would say on average, about 50 to 80,000 ringgit. 50 to 80,000 ringgit just to go through all your documents. Let me ask you, you can tell me honestly, you can tell me very honestly, if I were to charge you, let's say just 60,000 no need 80 60,000 ringgit to go through all your documents to tell you what needs to be stamped, what need not to be stamped, is this expensive or not? Pay 60,000 to me to look at this. You tell me if it's expensive, you put a yes. If you think this is expensive, can you put a yes? I want to see how many of you think this is expensive. Can you scroll down the chat box? Let me see. Who thinks if you have to pay 60,000, some people say heart attack lah. Is it? I can see that. Heart attack, right? Yes, I can tell you. To a lot of big companies, they don't have to be worried about this. You know why? Because big corporations, they have legal team, they have tax teams that will review every contract. But I know today, 900 over of you, a lot of you are SMEs, small medium enterprise. Hey, pay you 60,000, my profit all gone already lah. My profit maybe 100 over 1,000. Pay you 60,000 means half of my profit all gone already lah. Just for this stamp duty, right? I agree. I totally agree. You know, but do you know that stamp duty is now a compliance thing? It is no longer optional. You need to know. You still need to know what agreements need to be stamped, and that means this is going to be an additional cost to you, isn't it? Now, how can we solve this? How can we solve this without needing to pay that 60,000 ringgit? Yeah. Training. Yes, I always say this. If you go for training, you will learn. You will then know, okay, what needs to be stamped, what needs not to be stamped. But when I tell training, when I talk about training to bosses, you know what bosses will tell me? Bosses will say, training need to pay money when you know. It's a cost, right? It's a cost to my company. Let me ask everyone. Answer me honestly. I want everyone to answer me honestly. Would you agree? Do you agree with me if I say training employees today is actually an investment, not just a cost? Do you agree or not? If you agree, can you put a yes? Come on. Who agrees with me that training employees is actually an investment to the company, not just a cost? You see, a lot of you agree with me. But bosses will not say that. Bosses will say, it's a cost lah. But you see, if you really train all your employees would help you do things right, prevent all the penalties, save money, right? Then bosses no need to close business lah. Finance no need to retire early lah, isn't it? Right? That's why I always say training is important. But now, even when I say training is important, I always want to say this. When we handle taxes, all kind of taxes, whether it is stamp duty, e-invoice, or even SST, all kind of taxes, we need to have the tax strategy golden triangle. What is this? Now, tax strategy golden triangle means, first of all, bosses and finance team, you need to be best friend, hold hands, best friend. Why? Because you need to discuss and handle the tax matters together. But you cannot just do it alone. You need tools. You need some tools, and these tools is what I want to tell you, YYC taxPOD. Because with this tool, you will form this golden triangle and you will only pay what you owe, not a single cent more. And here, I want to bring you to our secret number 3, because a lot of people thought stamp duty is very complicated, very difficult. And not just stamp duty. Some of you may say, even e-invoicing, also very complicated. SST, even more complicated. Some of you may say that. But I want to tell you, with taxPOD is not iPod, EarPod, AirPod. No, taxPOD stands for Tax Professionals on Demand, right? Tax Professionals on Demand. This will help you master stamp duty, e-invoicing, SST, and even more. Now, I know today, 900 over of you, probably quite a number of you are also taxPOD users now. Let me do a quick check. Let me do a quick survey. Okay, out of 900 over of you, how many of you here are actually a taxPOD user already? Already a taxPOD user. Can you type taxPOD, taxPOD, taxPOD in the chat box? Just type taxPOD in the chat box. I want to see how many of you are already a taxPOD user. You see? We have a lot. Tila, Chu Ho Bing, Pei Ling. Can you scroll down the chat box? Who else? Okay, I see Chu Lai Ping, Ting Ong Yo, okay, Jocelyn Lau. Wow, a lot. Nora's Lin as well, Nofat Lee as well. Okay, a lot of taxPOD users already. Right, but I know some of you may say, I do not know what is taxPOD. What is this taxPOD all about? All right, now. Okay, can I get all of your permission? Give me a few minutes. I want to tell you, what is this taxPOD all about? how can it help you master stamp duty, invoicing, and even SST? All right. So, and how can you get taxPOD? This is the most important thing. How can you get taxPOD? All right. So, can I get a few minutes from you to tell you what is taxPOD all about? Okay. Who wants to know more about taxPOD? Can you put a yes? Can you put a yes in the chat box? Who wants to find out more? What is this taxPOD all about? How can it help me? How can I get it? All right. Now, those who want to learn more, okay, put a yes. All right. A lot have putting yes. Okay. Can you just scroll down the chat box? Scroll down the chat box. Let me see. Wow. A lot of you actually want it. Okay. Now, let me tell you. First of all, taxPOD is an online platform. Online platform that gives you 50 years of our tax savings expertise. Now, why 50 years? Because YYC is already, more than 50 years old. This is our 52nd year in the industry. Yeah, we are 52 years old, YYC. Yeah, and we put in 50 years of all our tax savings experience into short videos, short masterclass videos, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, even with case studies to teach you how to save tax, save money, and even save time. And we teach you things like income tax matters, SST, expert, even how to fill up forms, expert guidance in filling forms. And you think we only have like 10, 20 videos? No. We have got more than 1,000 videos, 1,100 over videos in our taxPOD, 272 master classes. It's just like having a tax guru in your pocket. And when we talk about stamp duty, do you know we also have these taxPOD masterclass videos that talk about e-duty stamp, the stamp duty, including step-by-step guide, how to register the e-duty stamp account, how to complete document stamping for instruments. Yes, we teach you step-by-step in our videos. Now, not just stamp duty. Let me ask this also. I know 900 of you, some of you will also tell me, hey, just now you talk about SST, right? You said you will teach us about SST, right? Let me ask, sorry. How many of you here are also having headache with SST? Those that are having headache with SST do not know how to handle SST. Can you type SST in the chat box? Can you just type SST in the chat box? I want to see how many of you here not just having headache with stamp duty, also having a lot of headache with SST. Type SST. Wow, so many of you here also having problem with SST. Ting Ong Yok, C. Mary, Celine, what else? Tan Wan, Ling, Aziz, Nofais. Okay, you know what's the good news? In taxPOD, we have a lot of videos about SST. 295 of them. 295 videos about SST, including step-by-step guide on how to do B2B exemptions, how to use group reliefs. This is all about SST. And I know some of you may say, hey, but I really do not know about SST. I've got no idea what SST is all about. Don't worry. We even have a full day, 8-hour complete SST workshop, okay, for you to watch. We have Mandarin session, we have English session, right? And we have like 1 full day for service tax. We have got 1 full day for sales tax. Every class is worth 998. If you go all 4 classes, it's already worth like close to 4,000 ringgit. They're all in taxPOD, okay? Now, just the value, this is not the price, don't worry, this is not the price. Value of all these masterclass videos, it's already more than 10,888 ringgit. This is the value. But is this all we have for taxPOD? No. Just now I saw someone say, I also got problem with e-invoicing. Who has got problem with e-invoicing as well? Can you type e-invoice in the chat box? Who also said, your e-invoice also very headache lah. I also do not know how to handle e-invoice. Can you type e-invoice in the chat box as well? Come on, scroll down the chat box for me. See who is having problem with e-invoice as well. You see? So many, right? Those that are having problem with e-invoice, you type e-invoice as well. You see, a lot of you also say, I do not know how to handle e-invoice. E-invoice is also another big headache. And now we have entered phase 4, right? So many companies need to do e-invoice already. You know what? We used to sell this e-invoice mastery modules, okay? 5 different modules to teach you A to Z about e-invoice. We want to teach you A to Z about e-invoice, how to enter e-invoice. But we used to sell this for a few thousand ringgit, okay? But you know what? Now we have made a decision. If you are our taxPOD user, you don't even have to pay a single cent and you can attend to these e-invoicing mastery modules for no extra cost. Yes, totally no extra cost. You can attend to this e-invoicing mastery modules. And not just that, we even give this guide to you. You can watch this guide on how to use the My Invoice portal, step by step on how to issue invoice using My Invoice portal. And I know some of you may probably also have questions. Yeah, you have got questions about e-invoice and say, hey, I want to ask more about e-invoice. From time to time, we have live session, like we have Date the Guru session, right? We have quarterly e-invoice meet the expert sessions for you to join our live session and ask questions and get answer. And as some of you may say, hey, I'm also not, I'm from different industry, you know, from another industry. So can I know more about e-invoice in my industries? Yes, we have got a lot of bite-sized courses for your industries as well. And all this is worth 6,000 over ringgit. We used to sell it, but I don't want to sell it to you because I want to include it into your taxPOD if you are a taxPOD user. Now, is this all you have? No, not just it. Then what else do you need? You need updates, right? I told you, we have got guidelines issued from time to time, and all these guidelines will be changed, will be updated. Now, you don't trust me, things are always changed, right? Did you know just last year alone, 2025, right? 1 year only, 2025, there were 413 announcements in just 1 year, you know. And this 413 means there are 413 changes, 223 relating to income tax, 115 federal gazettes being issued, 75 announcements relating to SST. Hey, I know a lot of you are probably having tax agents, you are probably having auditor. Did your tax agent, did your auditor tell you all 413 announcements last year? Some of you may say, no lah, where God? No lah, they didn't tell me. If I ask, they tell. Some say, I ask, they also don't tell, you know. But you know what? Don't blame your tax agent, don't blame your auditor. Because they only see you once a year, twice a year. How can you actually expect them to give you everything, right? But we know these are very important. We know all these updates are very important. And for example, invoice, do you know how many invoice guidelines have been updated? There are 15 versions of invoice guidelines, 14 versions of e-invoice specific guidelines, you know. The latest one was updated on the 7th December 2025 and 9th of January 2026 for specific guidelines. Hey, things are always changing, you know. Things are always changing means things are always different. Now, for example, SST. Do you know what you know yesterday may already be outdated today? Really? You know why I say so? Now, on the 9th of June, last year, hey, we just announced all SST expanded. More things are being taxed under SST, right? Then all the guides, all the service tax policies being issued. Then during the same month, suddenly government says Orange and Apple not subject to sales tax. Beauty center not subject to service tax. Right? Then after that, more amendments to the service tax policies, more updates, updated FAQs issued, new guidelines issued. That means what you knew yesterday may already be updated today. Now, you know what? To counter all this, we brought this every month. We brought this to you every month. Our update class, our monthly update class. This is a live session, just like today, Zoom live session. Every month, we will tell you all the latest tax updates, be it stamp duty, SSTE, invoicing, income tax, withholding tax. Every month, without fail, we will bring this to you. Not just one, not just 2 classes, but 5 classes altogether. 5 classes every month. And I know some of you may say, what if I cannot attend to these 5 live classes? Even there are 5, right? I cannot attend. Don't worry. All of our live classes, listen, all our live classes, we record them, we upload them. You can watch back the recording. You can get all the slides. You can get all the slides for all our sessions. You can download all of them. Now, I know Oscar is asking, then may I know whether inside this taxPOD got stamp duty courses? Exactly, that's what I want to tell you later, right? Yes, we do, and I want to tell you that. Now, you see on this update class, you see what our client is saying? Our user, Eurocopier. Wow, the update class is so useful. Examples provided are helpful. They will introduce taxPOD to their friends and ex-colleagues. Now, just the update class alone is worth 10,600 over ringgit, right? It's already worth more than 10,000. And this is the one I want to tell you. Now, we have just decided and we are going to launch this, and if you are a taxPOD user today, you will be in time, to attend to our new stamp duty webinar, which will be held in February. There will be an English session, there will be another Mandarin session. You can attend to both. At no extra cost if you are a taxPOD user. No need to pay a single cent if you are a taxPOD user. You will be in time to attend to this new stamp duty webinar. Listen to all these insights about stamp duty, get all the slides you want, and even if you say, what if I miss out or I'm not free on that day, don't worry. You can still watch back the recording. You can still download the slides for all this. Now, apart from that, we don't just talk about stamp duty. We have got a lot more other type of tax webinars, like company tax savings, tax audit and investigation, essential tax planning for property owners, withholding tax, transfer pricing, and even tax incentives. All the tax incentives. We have got 7 tax webinars live for you to attend anytime, unlimited times. Even if you cannot attend to the live session, you can download all the slides and can watch back the recording. Just like this one. Previously, we have done this webinar on stamp duty on how do you prepare yourself for self-assessment 2026. We were charging this at $298, but now, if you are a taxPOD user, listen. You don't have to pay a single cent. You can go back, watch back this recording. You can download all the slides for this webinar as well. Because if you're a taxPOD user, you get all this. No. And every month, we are going to do Dig the Guru session as well, because all these masterclass videos that you have watched, we're gonna do revision. You want to revise some of the topics for our masterclass video. Every month you will date me. Every month you will see me, and I am going to revise certain topics and allow you to ask questions and answer to your questions as well. Now you look at our taxPOD user, Vessel Tech, for example. They participated in our transfer pricing webinar, understood the whole concept. They even got tax solutions to solve their problems. All these webinars and also revision class is worth 3,000 over ringgit and 2,000 over ringgit. If you look at the value of the whole taxPOD, it's worth 33,740 ringgit. Now, it's just not me saying this, it's not just me. You look at all our other users, our taxPOD users, these comments are all from our users. Wow, they learn how to do tax planning, they learn how to save tax, how to avoid landmines, how to avoid penalties. All of these are from our taxPOD users. Now, but if I'm going to tell you, hey, 33,740 ringgit is the value, right? If you need to pay this, if you need to pay 33,000, you may tell me, this is very costly lah, need to pay 33,000. Obviously, no need to pay 33,000. Today, we are packaging this whole thing and we call this taxPOD, right? If we're going to package it, obviously, we will have discount, right? 50% discount, good or not? 50%, 16,000 only for 33,000 worth of value. You may say, wow, this is a huge discount, but still expensive lah, 16,000, right? I agree. So you know what? When we package everything and we call it taxPOD, now if you meet any of our sales staff, you see our sales staff and our salesperson out there, our salesperson will tell you, hey, now taxPOD package for everything, 33,000, we only package it at 6,888. 6,888 was 6,000 over ringgit for something worth 33,000, Wow, this is super worth it already, right? 6,000, right? No. Today, I want to give you something even special. Something that you won't be able to get out there. Because if you meet our salesperson out there, they will tell you taxPOD package is 6,888. But today, all of you have attended to my sharing session. All of you have attended to my sharing session for more than an hour right now. I want to give you a special online deal that you won't be able to get out there. Now, let me ask everyone, who wants to get this online? Who wants to know what is this online deal? Can you put a yes? Can you put a yes in the chat box if you want to find out what is this online deal? It's not 33,000, not 16,000, not even 6,000, What is this online deal? Who wants to know more about this? Can you put a yes? Can you put a yes in the chat box? Can I scroll down? Can you scroll down the chat box? All right, everyone wants to know what is this online deal, right? It's only 2,888 per year. 2,888 only here. For one price, you get unlimited access of everything worth 33,740 ringgit. But you can only get this 2,888 deal at this special link created for all of you. This is the special link just for today's sharing session, bit.ly/taxpod-stamp duty-en. Or you can scan this QR code over here, Or you can just go into the chat box right now. Just look at the chat box. The chat box would have this link over there for you to just click and grab this 33,000 over ringgit worth of value at only 2,888 per year. Okay, now, but this is a time limited offer, which means only for the next 30 minutes we will offer this to you, and the timer starts now. Only for the next 30 minutes, for just 2,888, you will get 33,000 worth of value. And Helen, yes, this is 2,888 per year, right? Even though you say, I don't want to renew next year, no problem. But I can assure you, once you have taken up this 2,888 per year, you will find the value is so great that you will renew. You will renew one, definitely. Because this 2,888 per year, right, is something that gives you worth 33,000 over ringgit. Some even ask me, can I claim HRDF? Lee Andrew is asking, can I claim HRDF? Absolutely yes, but how to do it, I'll tell you later. Lee Andrew, you give me some time, I'll tell you later. I'll explain how to claim from HRDF. Now, I know some of you may say, wow, 2,888 is very worth it, and you're thinking, should I or should I not, right? Should I or should I not? Now, today, I want to do something even more special. I want zero excuse today. I want all of you to really save tax. I want you to save hundreds of thousands of tax. I want you to make more profit. I want you to increase value. At least for the next 12 months, at least if you say, I try first year only, I try first year 2AA, right? For the next 12 months, I want you to at least try that. I want to give some very, very special bonus, but only for the first 20. Only first 20 can get this bonus. Okay, let me ask, who wants the bonus? Who wants the bonus? Can you put a yes? Come on, put a yes in the chat box. Who wants to know what is this bonus? But only first 20, first come, first serve. Who wants to know what is this bonus? Can you put a yes? Type a yes in the chat box, right? But first come, first serve, let me tell you, I cannot give everyone. Only the first 20 gets it, all right? Now, if you are the first 20, before today's session ends, before the end of today's session, you are the first 20 to grab this deal. Let me tell you what, I'm going to give you extra 1,000 ringgit. 1,000 ringgit worth of Ask an Expert 60 minutes credit. What is this 60 minutes Ask an Expert? I know some of you may ask me this question. All right, what is this all about? Now, a lot of you have been putting in questions in the chat box. I saw that. But unfortunately, today, I cannot answer to a lot of questions today because today, we don't have a lot of time. And also, there's so many of you. Just now, there were 900 over of you, 900 over of you. And now even 700 over of you. I cannot answer to all the questions. But I know some of your questions may say, it's P&C, I cannot ask in the public, You know what? You can go to our add-on module. This is an add-on module. Our user have to pay 1,000 ringgit. They have to pay 1,000 ringgit to use this service. But the first 20 today gets it for free. What is this all about? You go to our platform, our Ask an Expert platform. You can type your message in the platform. Our tax expert will reply to you, will answer to you. Did you know why this is very important? Because second opinion is important. Now, I know a lot of times that you will face this problem. You will say, hey, my tax agent tells me this. Oh, my auditor tells me that. I don't agree, I don't really agree. Then you want to ask someone else, right? You want to go to another accounting firm, another tax firm and ask, but people will charge you. People will charge you a few hundred to a few thousand just to answer to your questions, right? Now, you can use this Ask an Expert platform. Post your questions. Our tax expert, we have tax experts to answer to your tax questions. Just last year alone, we have answered 7,200 over questions because people are always asking for second opinion. And people have to pay 1,000 to use this. You don't have to. We give you 60 minutes credit for free. Only if you're the first 20. All right? Only if you're the first 20, Now, is this only things we give you? No. First 20, I want to give you this double bonus. What is this double bonus? Now, this is very important. Why I want to give you this double bonus? Did you know every year we will have national budget, right? Our government will announce the national budget, right? And after that budget being announced, we will do budget conference. Just like last year, we have already done this YYC Budget 2026 conference. We have done this already, okay? Now, usually when we do this, we sell ticket 888 ringgit per ticket. 888 ringgit, Today, first 20, I want to give you this ticket for free. Yes, for the upcoming YYC Budget 2027 conference. Because this year, we are going to have another budget. And after this year's budget announcement, we're going to do another budget conference. People will have to buy 888 ringgit to attend you will get that free ticket, no need to pay a single cent. And why do I say double bonus? You can still go back and watch back this 2026 conference for free. This recording, I allowed you to go back to watch the recording, download all the slides for free, all right? Only if you are the first 20. Only of the first 20, yeah? Okay? Now, not just that, I will have something even more special to give you. First 20, if you can sign up today, I'm gonna give you this e-invoice essentials comprehensive guide worth 199 ringgit. And my book, e-invoice 100 questions that you must know, right? The frequently asked 100 questions that you must know. Myself and my author, you know, we have compiled this book, yeah, worth 299 ringgit, total worth 498 ringgit, all for you, only if you are the first 20. Now, so first 20, I tell you what, all first 20 today, if you can sign up before the end of today's session, you will get 1,000 ringgit worth of Ask an Expert, 880 ringgit worth of budget conference ticket, 199 ringgit, yeah, worth of this e-invoice comprehensive guideline, and my book, e-invoice 100 questions book, worth 299 ringgit. Total value 2,300 over ringgit. Totally free for you if you are the first 20. And not just that, today, if you can be the first 20, we will do an exclusive onboarding support. What is that? Now, people always say, I took up the taxPOD, but I do not know how to use it. But this time, first 20 only, our team will call you and we will tell you how to use taxPOD for free. That's priceless. So only the first 20, only the first 20, you will get all this. You will get all this worth 2,300 ringgit. Now, I know some of you is asking, hey, the stamp duty seminar finished? Okay, you see, the sharing on stamp duty, I've already given you a lot, but there's still a lot of in-depth stuff that you need to understand, right? Which I was telling you, if I were to go through all this, then, you know, it's gonna take like one full day, which I want you to learn in taxPOD. In taxPOD, we will give you all the materials, in-depth materials about stamp duty, all the webinars, you know, that you can learn. So today, you know, I will tell you what, there are two options. There are two options out there for you right now, even Leighton. First option, okay, I have already, you know, learned today a bit about stamp duty, you know, the fundamentals, okay. Now you can continue to get all the free information out there. No need to spend anything. Yes, you can do so. But how in-depth can you go in? You know, how many contents, how much contents can you get? You know, how much information can you get? Maybe very limited. But second option you have today, everyone, if you put in a little investment, today I will tell you, this 2888 is an investment. It's an investment for you to really get all the resources, you know, that we have put in to guarantee your success. If you are there to really know, you want to learn, you want to go in depth, and you want to get everything, you know, that you want to know, this small investment of 2888, in exchange, you will get a lot more resources to guarantee your success. Now, I must tell you, the first 20 bonus, we have sold 7, only 13 left, okay? My team has just updated me, 7 has sold, only 13 left, Now, you may probably ask me, hey, this taxPOD, how much can I save? If I already take up the taxPOD, you say I can save money, can save tax, how much can I save? Now, some people ask me, is this 100% HRDC claimable? Yes, it is 100% HRDC claimable, but how do you claim that? I will tell you that. Listen, now, you may ask me, this taxPOD, how much can I save, right? Now, if I tell you, with the taxPOD, you can easily save 10,000, 50,000, or even 100,000. Would you want to get taxPOD or not? Would you want to get taxPOD? You know why do I say that? Let me share one real-life case with you. This real-life case was a subscriber of taxPOD, a user of taxPOD. This user received a love letter from the Indian Revenue Board. Now, when I say love letter, you know what it is, lah. The Indian Revenue Board says this company has to pay 300,000 on withholding tax, you know, because they say you have done something wrong. You have done something wrong for withholding tax. But this user of taxPOD, they say, really, man? I have really done something wrong? Now, they are our taxPOD user. They went back to our taxPOD masterclass because we teach withholding tax. They use our Ask an Expert, ask for second opinion. Remember? Ask second opinion. They asked, did they really do something wrong? Right? And in the end, they found out they didn't do anything wrong for withholding tax, you know. And we provide materials, right? Remember we said I have got all the materials. You can download all the materials in taxPOD. They downloaded all our materials. They brought it to the Indian Revenue Board. And they told Inland Revenue Board, hey, I follow exactly, I didn't do anything wrong, In the end, they didn't even pay a single cent. They saved the whole 300,000 ringgit in tax and penalties. And how much would you be spending if today this happened to you? How much would you be spending? 2,888. You'll be only spending 2,888 if this happens to you. But you can save like what? The whole 300,000 ringgit. And if you do the math, you just do the math. 2,888 divided by 12 months. How much would it be per month? 240 ringgit. 240 a month, it's just less than 8 ringgit per day, Today, 8 ringgit, what can you get? Some says, I can't even get a good cup of coffee. Like the other day, I was at Starbucks. The other day. You know what Starbucks now doing promotion? Oh, you can get a latte for just 9.90. Wow, 9.90 for latte promotion. But that's still not 8 ringgit. That's 9.90. 8 ringgit, you can't even get a good cup of coffee. But you may save like what? A few 100,000 ringgit of tax. Okay? Now, just now people were asking me, can I claim HRDC or not? Right? Now, let me ask first. How many of you here today are actually contributing to HRDC every month? Every month you are contributing money to HRDC. Can you type HRDC in the chat box? Let me check first. How many of you here are actually contributing money to HRDC? Can you type HRDC, right? Just put HRDC in the chat box. Let me see how many of you are actually contributing. Wow, a lot, okay? A lot of you are actually contributing. Let me tell you what, if you are contributing to HRDC every month, okay, do you know you are actually paying 1% of your employee's monthly wage into this HRD Corp account. Last time we call it HRDF, now it's called HRD Corp Fund, okay? There are only two ways out. This kind of money inside, right? Two ways out. First, you don't use it at all. After 2 years, burn, no more. If you don't use the money, no more, after 2 years. Second way out, you use it to do training, build talent, and make more profit. Now, why do I say so? Listen, this is a photo shared by our user. This is our real taxPOD users that they shared this. This boss, let me tell you a story. This boss, right? Every year they had got this problem. They said, hey, I want to do training. I want to do training for my staff, but I do not know what kind of training should I do. And they have always got this headache, right? Which trainer should I engage? Where's the venue? What kind of topic? They've been thinking every year they've got this problem, and they say it can be very expensive also, Get a trainer, look for venue and then think of some new topic. Can be very expensive. You know what? In the end, this boss, he took up one package. He took up one package only, And after that, he do training by sharing this taxPOD live session, because every month we have got live session, right? Every month we have got new topics, right? With the whole company. The whole company view our live session every month. How much have he spent? 2,888 if it happens to you lah. If it happens to you, 2,888 today lah. And we are okay with that, We are okay with sharing because to us, we want to share knowledge with all of you. And with that one package, he solved all his training problem for the whole company, not just 1 or 2 person, the whole company, because the whole company is watching it together every month, learning new topics every month. No need to think about the venue, no need to think about which trainer, no need to think about what topic. And see, hey, you will know why this 2,888 is a great deal. Like I was telling you, if you go out there, you see our salesperson. Our salesperson will tell you, hey, this taxPOD package is 6,888, it's 6,888. Very worth it because it's worth 33,000. But today, just today, only through our link today, only through our link, you already save 4,000 immediately. Immediately you save 4,000 because it's only 2,888 per year. It's only 2,888 per year, right? And first 20, you get all the bonuses as well. You get all the bonuses for the first 20. But let me tell you about the first 20. Can you scroll up a little bit? How many have been sold just now? I think my team member, 13 has been sold. 7 left to go. Only 7 more left to go for you to get this first 20 bonus. I cannot give more than that. Let me tell you what, all right? And you can only get this at bit.ly/taxpod-stamp duty-en, or scan this QR code, or just go to our chat box. The link is in there. Now, I see Grace ask a question. Let me see. Grace say, next year renew also 2,888. I like this question. We say 288 per year, right? So you will definitely ask, then next year how? Next year when I renew, do I renew at 2888? Or do I go back to the normal package price 6888? You ask this kind of question, right? Okay. You know what? I like this question from Grace. Okay, you know what? Today I want to make it really special. Today I want to make it really, really special for all of you. But only for all of you today. Seriously, I only want to make it for all of you. Okay. Now, just now I mentioned for the first 20, you will get all the bonuses, right? Worth 2,000 over ringgit, right? Bonuses. I want to make it even more special today. If you are the first 20, if you are the first 20, only first 20, who are able to sign up this taxPOD at 2888 per year, okay? Next year, when you renew, now I honor my words. You listen carefully. I honor my words. You will renew also at 2888. You won't renew at the original price of 6888. Only the first 20, that can sign up today from this link, bit.ly/taxpod-stamp duty-en, or go to the link in the chat box and click that link. Only for the first 20, you can get 2888 with all the bonuses, and next year I guarantee, I honor my words, you will also renew at 2888 per year. No need to pay back the original 6888, okay? Only first 20 gets it, and 17 has been sold. 17 has been sold, that means 3 more to go, 3 more to go, Now, I know someone was also asking, when I renew, can I still continue to claim HRD Corp? Okay, let me explain how do you claim HRD Corp. You go and grab it first. Those who want to claim the HRD Corp fund, or last time we call it HRDF fund, those who want to claim the HRDF or HRD Corp fund, right? You go and grab it first. You go to this link, bit.ly/taxpod-stamp duty-en. Go to the link, grab it at 2888 first. Then our team member will contact you. Our team member will call you and say, hey, do you want to use your HRD Corp fund? And you say, oh, yes, I want to use my HRD Corp fund. You know what? Our team member will get all your details. We will claim back the full amount, 2888, from your HRD Corp account. We claim out and we refund the whole 2888 back to you. Yes, we reimburse back the 2888 back to you. So it's 100% claimable from HRD Corp fund. But you need to grab it first before all the bonus ends. And I know some of you may say, but what if I don't have HRD Corp fund? What can I do if I don't have HRD Corp fund? Let me tell you what, even if you don't have HRD Corp fund, this is 100% tax deductible. 100% tax deductible, because this is a staff training course. This one is a staff training course. You just have to book it under staff training expenses. You put it under staff training expenses, it's 100% tax deductible, even if you're not using HRD Corp fund, okay? That means if you're paying tax at 24%, let's say 24%, you save 700, immediately about 700. You take 2888, multiply by 24%, you straight away save 700 ringgit because it's 100% tax deductible. Now, Xiaoling is asking, how many users can access? Pay 2A, how many access? Now, at any one point of time, you can access the website, and you can also use our taxPOD mobile app to access. That means at any one point of time, one person can log into the website. Another person, you can also use our taxPOD mobile app, which is downloadable from Apple App Store, Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery. No need to pay a single cent for you to get our mobile app. And you can also log in from our taxPOD mobile app at any one point in time. Okay? Right? So that is our taxPOD mobile app. And some of you would also ask, can I claim CPE hours? Oh, Grace just asked already. This course can claim CPE hours. Absolutely. You get to claim 360 over CPE hours. I know a lot of you are probably professional members of the professional bodies like MIA, ACCA, CPA Australia. And yes, we need 40 hours every year, right? We need 40 CPE hours every year. With taxPOD, one account only, you can claim 360 over hours with certificate. They are all structured hours. We issue e-certificate to tell you you have got CPE hours, because all our webinars, they are recognized by MIA. They are all structured according to MIA's requirement. And yes, you can claim CPE hours. See, I know a lot of times that people say, I go and attend all these webinar, wow, it costs me a few hundred, a few thousand, and I cannot even get my 40 hours. But now, with just 2888, You get 300 over hours, satisfy all your CPE hours, but only, this deal is only at bit.ly/taxpod-stamp duty-en, okay, only here. Now, I know some of you may ask me this question now. Hey, you say this taxPOD is so good, who should use taxPOD actually? Okay, who should subscribe to taxPOD? If today you are a boss, if you are a business owner today, let me tell you what, you must use taxPOD. You must use taxPOD because you want to learn how to save tax. You want to handle all your tax properly. You need taxPOD. But I know business owner will say, I got no time lah. I need to do business. Where got time? Then what about your account staff, your finance staff? They are the one that is handling your tax matters, right? You should get a taxPOD for them. And if you tell me you have been always struggling with tax problems, you definitely need taxPOD, okay? Some may say, I got tax agent already. Do I still need taxPOD? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Because tax planning has to be done before transactions concluded. You need to invest. Yes, this is an investment. You need to invest in your finance team if you want to save tax. Now, I know some of you will do this. Let me ask, is this you? Is this you? I know some of you will do this. You always don't care about your tax. But when it's time to submit tax, you're worried. You always close your accounts in a rush, throw it to your tax agent, ask them to save tax for you. Or you're only worried about tax once you got selected for audit. Now, if this really happened to you, this is the big bad news. Yes, very bad news. Because you are missing out on all the tax savings, you may be facing tax penalties some more. You know why? Because we have done a survey. Top three reasons why business owners always lose out. Business owners like you always lose out on potential tax savings. First, unclear invoice descriptions. Do you know how this invoice is being written will determine how much tax you can save on, you know? You probably do not know how to write correctly. Unclear invoice description. That's why you can't save tax. Number two, poor record keeping. People always thought I only need to keep my financial documents like receipt, invoice, but you probably do not know that certain documents like emails, like letters will help you save tax. But what are they, right? Third, lack of knowledge about tax planning. Some bosses tell me this, oh, my competitors, they make more money than me, you know, but they pay less tax than me. Not logic lah. It's logic. They make more money, but they know how to do tax planning. Therefore, they pay less tax than you. Do you know how to do tax planning or not? Now, it's really time to take control of your own tax. It's really time. Now, let me ask you this question. You can just think about this. Think about this. Let me ask you this. If today, this 2888 will let you master stamp duty, e-invoicing, SST, do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's worth paying the 2888 if you can master all this? Now, if this 288 will help you save tax, not just a few hundred or a few thousand, but hundreds of thousands in tax, do you think 288 is worth it? And if this 288 gives you ability to make more profit, why? Because you will have a peace of mind. You have a peace of mind. You don't have to worry about tax anymore because your team knows how to handle